Are you finding yourself moping around the woods on your own, or even struggling to get motivation to get out there for a ride? Trying to take your riding to the next level, but scared of crashing by yourself? Most activities are best enjoyed with company, and e-mountain biking is no exception to that rule. In fact, riding in a group can definitely bring a big safety aspect. And you're also going to be introduced to new areas to ride, you're going to learn new skills and meet new people. But how do you go about meeting those new people? Maybe if you're new to an area, or none of your friends have e-bikes. Well, here's a few little tips. Don't get me wrong, solo riding definitely has its benefits too. It's that time to get out there, clear your head, get ideas going, or just have that bit of me time to yourself without all those outside influences. Surprise, I don't ride by myself a lot more often actually. However, many of us enjoy riding in groups or just with a few mates. It's a really important social aspect to it. You're going to push each other on, and of course, the most important one is to laugh at each other when it goes wrong. And of course, one of the best things about e-bikes is that it brings us all together. You don't need to go and ride with people the same age, the same fitness, or the same ability. The e-bike brings us all together. And it can be super frustrating trying to get some new friends to get out there with you on your rides, or maybe even tempting them to come on those planned weekend adventures. Or maybe you've got mountain bike mates who you're trying to get them to go and buy an e-mountain bike. It can be super stressful times, and you might find yourself on your Todd. But the best way to get over this is to find some new e-mountain bike mates. But before we get into that, here's a few golden rules. You need to be outgoing. You need to put yourself out there and be able to start a conversation with some complete strangers. Make it more about bringing a friendship to someone else rather than searching for that friendship yourself. It's all about sharing those experiences and getting out there. And don't be selfish. You get out what you put in. It's not that hard. Meeting with other e-mountain bikers, in fact, is super easy. They're a friendly bunch. Just get chatting to them, and we're all after the same thing at the end of the day, getting out there for awesome experiences on our e-bikes. It might be hard or it might be easy, as in you might stumble across a bunch of riding mates who are super skilled, or maybe they're not quite as skilled as yourself. You need to be open-minded. And one last thing, your new riding mates might not necessarily have e-mountain bikes, and that's a great thing about these bikes. It's about mixing the ride and sharing those experiences. Head out to your local trails. Now, this is arguably the easiest way to find some of your local e-mountain bikers. Just make sure you make the effort to speak to them at the trailhead or the car park. You just need to put yourself out there. Just ask them maybe if you can do a lap of the trail centre with them, or maybe a couple of runs down the downhill trails. That way you get to know them really well, see what they're capable of on bikes, and assuming that you do get on with them, ask to maybe go riding again or swap contact details. Easy as that. A definite no-no here is standing at the side of the trail trying to flag down riders for a chat. If you do want to chat, just make sure you're doing it in the right place. And the right place for this is at the trailhead or back at the car park or even the cafe. Bike chat. Now, no one else likes geeking out about bikes more than an e-biker, and a great icebreaker at the start of the trail is such things as what tyre pressure you're running. Is that the EP8 motor? What motor settings you got going on? Break the ice and you could get into a good chat. And popping down to your local bike shop is definitely worth a good shout too. Now, a lot of the bike shops actually host their own group ride, so getting out there, you're gonna meet a big bunch of people. But failing that, just speak to the bike shop employees, see what, where they go riding, who they go riding with, and ask them if you mind sort of tagging along on some of their rides. The bottom line is that the bike shop is definitely gonna be a wealth of information when it comes to local riding. Using apps such as KOMOOT, STRAVA and TRAILFORKS is a great way of exploring the local area without any prior knowledge. And the great thing about this is when you arrive at those spots and trails, you're going to find a load of riders with even more knowledge. So get chatting and it could enhance your riding even more. And if you're not out on your bike riding the trails, a great way to meet new riders is of course online. Now you can do this by lots of different means. And I think quite a lot of people are actually a bit sketched out by if you come up to someone random in the woods and start introducing yourself. Can be taken the wrong way sometimes. So a great way of doing this is, as I say, by social sites such as Facebook, Instagram, and of course some forums too. Get to know people on there. And if you're speaking to the same people over and over again, drop them a direct message and say about going out riding. And there's loads of different ways out there. I mean, eMBN community Facebook page is a great one off the top of my head. And just get out there and you're definitely going to meet a ton of people. Introduce someone new to an e-mountain bike. If you get someone that hasn't experienced that e-bike ride before, let them have a go on your bike, and before you know it, they are definitely going to be wanting one of those things. And again, it's a great icebreaker. Join a club. There are lots of cycling clubs all over the world, and lots of them will have a mountain bike division within those clubs. Now, group riding in such a huge group of riders might not necessarily be for you, but there's going to be 1 or 2 riders you'll probably get on with quite well. So after that group ride, take down their contact details and get out for a spin with just those guys. It's a great way to meet a whole bunch of people and get a select few close friends. Sign up for a race or a festival. Now, racing is definitely ace, and it is a great place to meet a bunch of people. Now, if you are racing, don't go for the most competitive event for that first wave, because a lot of those people there just think about the racing. You want to go to a more sociable kind of enduro event where people are more about having fun than those results. And once that race is over, get chatting in the campsite, or maybe if you're lucky enough to get on the podium, meet some of those guys and get chatting. Another great way to meet a bunch of great people. Introduce friends and family to the great world of e-biking. Just because they haven't got an e-bike now doesn't mean that they won't consider getting one. Get them maybe a rental for the day and take them out for an epic ride and truly blow their mind. And next time, you might find you might have a new e-bike friend. Now, the great thing about all these methods is that you're definitely going to meet a few riders out there. It might be 1, it could be 2, or it might be 5. But you start riding with those people and you'll get introduced to their riding friends, and that riding friendship and the group will get even bigger. Now, after time, you'll be able to select a few riders from that group that suit what you're all about. You know, your riding style, your riding fitness, and of course, your riding skills. But let us know down in the comments box below whether you're a lone ranger or how you found a load of new riding friends, be it on social media or just getting out to the trails. Love to hear it in the comments box. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed today's video. Make sure you subscribe to us here on eMBN and get out there and find a load of new friends.